Hello and welcome to episode 121 of Jobless Weebs. My name is Marco, and this time I said the episode right.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember that when I was editing
Oh yeah.
the 119,
Did you?
I said
it?
190 or 129 or something like that. And I was
Oh.
like, man, like, how did I miss that? But,
Oh,
121.
okay.
121.
Okay, yeah, we're back on track.
Yeah.
Okay.
My name is Marco, everyone Mexican.
Yeah. And I'm Brian. Yep.
Man, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm an engineer, and it seems that when it's Friday, my math level goes from here to like, what's math?
What's math? yeah. Oh gosh, can't math today.
Yep. How are you, Brian?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. I was playing a bit more of Frostpunk, a game on Steam. It's pretty fun, but like I get so hyped and involved with it, I like lose track of time sometimes.
Happens.
It's so fun. Yeah,
To the best of us.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, but yeah, other than that, it's been pretty good. I want to say I was reading a manga recently. It's the pop. No. It's polar opposites attract, and it's funny because it's like a gal and a straight-laced honor student.
Okay.
But once again, I'm more interested in the secondary couple. I don't know why. I may have said that already, but I don't know why. I just
We've
love the
mentioned
secondary
that
couples.
sometimes like the secondary couples are like more interesting.
More interesting, exactly, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like they're not the main, because usually the main, it's just that's
Yeah, just them,
given,
and you
it's
you
the
go
story.
along with them in their journey, and the
Exactly.
secondary couple.
And the secondary
Sometimes
couple,
it's like, oh, we're dating. It's like,
right, and it
Excuse
comes
me?
out of yeah, it's
like-
left field. It's always like more. I'm not even sure. I'll have to look into it one day and look at why I like it. Maybe like if it's personalities, if it's the plot armor isn't quite there, or it's just more fresh. But this one I like. I like the secondary couple because this guy, he's airhead, like bubbly type of character, and he's like always saying hi to people, and he's more like speaking without thinking type of guy, acting before thinking. And the girl, she's a very quiet, like overthinker. She doesn't really talk a lot, but she just laughs at the guy a lot, so I just think that's so funny. But she's always trying to like think, oh, what should I say? Like, am I gonna mess up? But he's like, I'm me. Like, mess up all you want.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I won't even
man.
notice. So yeah, I really like that. I really liked that secondary couple in that one. Polar opposites attract. So it was a fun one. Well, I'm still going through it, but yeah.
how many chapters are there?
Ooh, I want to say 45.
45.
Yeah,
Kind of short, but
that's right. Sorry.
I mean, it's still going.
It's pretty short. It is still going. Sorry. The title officially, I guess, is "You and I Are Polar Opposites."
I started reading one of the mangas that it's gonna be for
Oh,
spring.
for spring.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this manga is called Bartender. Man,
Dude. Okay.
I'm not gonna say much because I wanna
we
save
will
like
cover it.
this for the conversation when we have that episode of what we will be watching. But man, it's so good.
Nice.
Like the description that appears on my anime list
Oh, yeah?
doesn't make justice to
Really?
what all of these manga, I guess,
Is about?
Like it's about.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I'm just gonna say this for now is like, in order for the anime to be like a success, they're gonna have to pay a lot of attention in the color palette that they're gonna use, because they're gonna have to use a lot of warm colors, and
Yeah.
most of it happens at night. So like sometimes it's really hard to show warm colors at night.
At night.
And the other thing would be the soundtrack.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if they put I don't know, something like blues or jazz or
that would fit really
it would fit.
Okay.
It would fit, but you know,
yeah.
This manga, I think that it would be a perfect fit for different music genres because you are thrown into different stories. And I'm not gonna say more. I'm just gonna save
Give
it
at that.
Yeah. But
Okay.
it's so good. I caught up with it. I think so far there were like 148 chapters. It hasn't been updated, at least the translation so far. But man, it was so good.
Wow.
There were a few times that I was crying, and you know, for manga, it's really hard that I cry with manga.
Yeah. Wow.
Like normally for anime, I'm pretty easy to
move
to feel moved.
Oh sure.
With animes, but with manga, man, it's so good, so good. I was like, man, I feel happy that like I read this because you know it's like a slice of life, but it has this seinen touch and these I would call it this extra virgin slice of life that is just like man,
wow,
that is actually kind of like relatable. You know, it's not like it sounds peaceful, sounds like warms your heart, but it's like it's really man, it's like I swear I became alcoholic now. No, because they talk about you know alcohol and cocktails and a lot of beverages, but not in the way of you know drowning your sorrows in alcohol, more in the way of like kind of like admiring life and it's like hey, sometimes you just need a drink. And that's it, and the drink it's gonna make it better somehow, or maybe it won't, but you will get the inspiration to like yeah man I can do like an extra mile like a little better and like man it was so good.
That sounds amazing.
But man for today we have an anime movie, not as confusing as the one that we talked last week.
Oh yeah. Right, and all that symbolism and stuff.
Yeah. Regardless, this is still art.
It is.
Because I liked it a lot. I mean, you also know me. Like my go-tos are always slice of life or music. And you know when the two are together, it's like man.
Oh yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
The animation is also great. Soundtrack is great.
Oh, incredible.
Colors are great. Man, I was surprised with the colors.
Yeah, me too. And there are some specific parts that just jumps out at you. Oh, it's beautiful. And yeah, when I like got to the ending song and they were like performing that and I was thinking to myself, wow, for any like non-anime watchers, if they had to like or for anybody to watch one anime movie in their life, this might be the one.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You know, because it has this magic of anime, but it doesn't have the weirdness. The weirdness of anime.
Yeah.
Because you know, like
it has some tropes. It has some
even like the movie that we talked about last week, The Boy and the Heron.
Right.
It had this weird thing of anime. It was a work of art. It was super enigmatic. But it still had that anime touch of like, hey, here's some weird stuff.
Yeah.
How about it? And you like the freaking whip, you're like, please sir, can you give me more?
Right.
But this one was pretty straightforward and
it draws you in. Yeah.
It was not enigmatic. It was like, no, there's this guy, it has one. He has one goal, and he's gonna get it.
Hard work, and he will get it. Incredible, and it's a simple story. All in all, Incredible.
Yeah. So the movie is called Blue Giant.
Yes.
This movie came out 2022, I believe. I'm pretty sure we talk about it on the what we will be watching.
Oh yeah.
Of a few episodes back.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah.
But again, movies, anime movies, they always come out much later. But anyways, so
I'm still crossing my fingers on Code White for Spy Family. Oh boy.
Oh,
we'll see.
Yeah,
it might
was
be
supposed to be this year, right?
That's right. Yeah. So we'll see.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. It's almost, well, yeah. Oh man.
The subtitle movie from Rascal Does Not Dream About a Sister Who Has a Dream or something like that. That movie came out last year. No, actually, that movie came out early this year. And I watched it recently, the subtitle version.
Oh, no way.
And there's this one last movie where Rascal is going to have some sort of encounter with the elementary kid version of Mai. That one is coming out.
Okay.
I think it came out in November or sometime this December.
Okay,
so yeah, hopefully we will get it sometime soon. But man, that's the thing with movies. They always come out late.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's our like non-stopping complaint.
It is, yeah. It is, yeah. So Blue Giant, we got a chance to watch it, and wow, it was amazing. So first off, though, I want to say for the title, I was thinking, okay, like Blue Giant, all right, like obviously somebody with a huge, commanding presence, giant, and then along with blue, I was thinking to myself, okay, there's like a music genre, the blues, and jazz. Since this movie is a jazz like story, I was thinking, okay, that could work, but I was a little bit wrong. So we'll see.
I was so wrong. Yeah, like,
I was.
My impression. I thought that he was gonna be still, kind of like in high school, and then he discovered
like the movie is him discovering.
Because he's like, he's he was in the basketball club in high school. I was like, okay, they're gonna show him like that, and
and like
no, it like right after that.
Right, yeah.
The movie starts with him playing the sax in a blizzard, literally bleeding because of all of how much he's been playing. And he's just like by the riverside.
Yeah,
and he's playing, and you can see like the passion, the effort that he's putting in.
Yeah, and
there's like one person watching. That person that is walking is the person that appeared almost at the end.
That's the person. Oh, okay, man. I should have seen it twice then. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry. I
okay.
I didn't notice it until I was recording the.
Oh, okay.
For the clips.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm glad you caught that. Yeah.
But yeah, he's playing. Then next scene, he's at the bus station. It seems that his brother's there and his little sister, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going.
I'm off."
They're like,
and it was
here you go. Buddy.
Yeah, it was like a send off. It was a little sad with the sister. She was like teary eyed. Well, she was like emotional, but she was also like ultimately like slightly angry. You kind of imagine like a tsundere. But yeah, they were like sending him off. It was bittersweet. He's going to Tokyo. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I caught where he was from, or where his family was.
They did mention it.
Okay.
They did mention it. I'm sure of that. I don't remember.
Okay.
You're asking me too much, Brian. I'm barely remembering
sorry.
names.
No more questions. Right, the names. Yeah. So this guy, he's Dai, and he really wants to play saxophone.
Not only he really wants
he
to
wants
play,
to be the best in the world.
man, like,
Yeah.
you know, whenever I see an anime like that, or rather animes, just like, they always have this like, hey, wanna be the best. It's like freaking Pokemon. It's like, I wanna be the very best. Like freaking Naruto. I wanna be
I wanna be the Hokage.
the Hokage. I wanna be the king of the pirates.
King of the pirates,
Like, I wanna be the best. Space, like, insert whatever you want.
Ooh, yes. Yeah.
He's like, man, that's something
Best
that I can like low key admire from the Japanese culture, or kind of like the Japanese mindset. It's like there are a lot of things that I personally think that are kind of like messed up for the Japanese mindset, in work culture or society or a few other things.
Sure.
But the persistence that they have of like, I want to be the best is like, man, it kind of says something.
It does.
Like,
yeah.
You never see shows like Western shows. It is like, I'm gonna be the best. It's like, no, they're just like chilling.
Yeah.
It's like,
or it's some weird story that's going on. Yeah, that is kind of particular and very, very cool about anime in Japanese culture. Wow, I haven't thought of it that way.
Yeah, but okay, so he's making his way to Tokyo. He at the beginning he starts scouting for places where he can practice.
Yes, and that surprised me that was the first thing he did, instead of like, oh, where am I gonna put my stuff? Because he was literally hauling his gear that whole time. This huge hiking backpack.
He's walking the streets, like some parks. He's like, no, this is not good.
It's going around the river. Yeah.
And then
he landed on the spot.
Yeah.
It was late at night. So he's been going at this for hours.
And he probably slept there.
Because I'm pretty sure
it was until the next day in the morning.
Yeah,
where he goes to see his friend.
Yes, he definitely. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, dedication right there. And we gotta remember, he wants to be the very best in the world as a jazz player, saxophone. So to him, it's not weird. But yeah, I liked the spot that he found. It was by the river, underneath a bridge. Such a cool spot. A lot of acoustics.
Yeah,
like I could just imagine what it would sound like.
Just trying to remember, like, man, this would be like a really cool origin story. It's like, yeah, I started practicing under a bridge when I came to Tokyo.
Oh yeah, so cool.
But yeah, he then
he
then goes to see his friend.
Yep.
His friend is in college in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, can I crash there while I get a place?
2-3 days, he says.
2 or 3 days. Then those 2 or 3 days become 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Then it becomes pretty much the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Pretty great. It was a pretty neat thing, like it establishes their friendship. They were good buddies. The basically, like, Dai's landlord, Tamada, he of course, as we said, he goes to college. He and he also plays soccer at like a club. But yeah, Dai is like doing his own thing. He's going around now looking for, I'm not even sure, but he was like scouting out jazz places. Pretty much what I got from that.
Yeah, he finds a bar. The name of the bar is called Take Two.
Yeah.
And
jazz,
the
Take Two.
It was an empty bar.
Yeah.
The owner, the master of the bar, it's a lady, and he's like, hey, so when's I gonna play? He's like, yeah, we don't have that here, buddy. Like, but I have some records if you like. Oh yeah, sure.
And she opens up the
freaking library of records.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He recognizes
Oh yes.
who the player was
Yep.
and
Sunny.
why he was playing it.
Oh yeah. Why she chose that record? Yes, that was the cool thing about it. It was. Oh, excuse me. It was a Sunny record, and he was like, "Oh, this matches the weather perfectly." I was like, "Whoa!" When she was like, "Oh, how did he know I chose based on the weather?"
Man, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
because
Wow.
that part was really good. Because
Yeah.
I see it kind of like from my point of view
Yeah.
that I'm musically challenged.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
It's like,
Yeah, I have a very limited
like,
experience
man,
myself.
like I'm pretty sure that if I would have known a little more about music, I would have enjoyed a lot more of this movie.
Same. Specifically, of course, jazz music.
Yeah, like that,
like the whole scene.
That makes me remember that episode in SpongeBob.
Oh yeah.
When they're like trying to be adults and they're like try to understand jazz and they're like,
oh yes, oh yes. You know, I have seen that episode. Oh my gosh.
This lady tells him like, hey, if you want to listen to some live jazz music, go to this place.
Yeah.
Something important to note about Dai is that he has been playing for 3 years, and he's pretty much self-taught.
Yes.
So, which is scary. He's a freaking genius.
Right. And he like barely took lessons or something like that. But yeah, and it's incredible. As evidenced later in the movie, and like you pick it up here and there, he spent like they never really said, right? But just then. Oh wait, no. I remember where they said it. I'm pretty sure it was when Yukinori listened to him for the first time. Okay, we'll wait for that then.
I mean, we're getting really close to that part.
Okay, that's true. So, oh man.
Yeah, he goes to this bar where they have they're on a concert.
Yeah.
And he sees this band, their guitar, the bass, and he gets really captivated by the piano player.
And he said it was a call and response between the piano and the guitar. But yeah, Yukinori is the name of the piano player, and he captivated his attention. At this part.
They talk together and he's like, hey, I want to form a band. Like,
oh yeah,
would you be interested?
They met in the restrooms.
Oh yeah, in there. Like, man, that's huge.
It's like, oh really? No.
He's like, I mean your finger.
Your finger.
Like, are you a tenor? Like you're like.
He's like embarrassed. He like mistook what he meant. But for saxophone players, they develop like a huge it's like a callus on the thumb at a certain part. So yeah, they met in a pretty funny way. Which they even mention at the end of the movie. He's like, or so
like, what's your name? Like, Dai. That's the name of someone with a pretty big.
It is like, oh no way.
But yeah, they meet back again at take 2, and and he tells him like, hey, I only have 3 years playing, and he's like, 3 years, like what the heck? He's like. Oh, you have 4. No, I've been playing since I was 4. You're like,
4 years old.
And so here's the thing with jazz that, my really limited knowledge kind of like knows or has a notion from. And the thing is that with jazz, a lot of parts are improvised.
Right.
So it's not like you were just like, you're like, no, that's not a solo. That's not improvised.
Right.
You have to have like really complete knowledge of music and the instrument you're playing in order for you to, be spontaneous, have like improvised.
Right, and to actually make it work, because you're not just playing alone; you are playing with other people. But it's improvised in the sense that you just go off of. I kind of think of it as a theme. with my limited knowledge of music, I should have taken theory back in high school. I don't know why I didn't, music theory. Um, but yeah, you have to like there's a theme. So in jazz, it's very specific type of like music that you can just go off of. Yeah, exactly.
He has to play, and you know the animation of him, just like
Oh
the
yeah,
colors of how the frame gets center in him. Looks
yeah,
bigger,
yeah,
and like the
yes.
colors look a little dim, and he's kind of like
Even
shining, and
more.
some sparks
Hmm.
every time that he blows the sax.
Yeah,
And
so
that guy
cool.
was like, "Oh shoot!" He's like, "I'm in danger." He's like, "Who's this freaking monster?"
Right.
And he was like,
Like
"Yeah,
he's a
you know
monster
what?
of
Like,
music.
let's leave it for today. I'll contact you later."
Oh yeah, he told them. Oh yeah. This is when he had him play for him at her place.
Yeah,
Um. At Take Two.
yeah.
Yeah. Because Dai wanted to form a band, and Yukinori he said, "All right, you play just by yourself." Um. Yeah, and this is the part when when they talk to each other after Dai leaves, and they are pretty much like, uh, and she said there's something like, he's only been playing for 3 years, and he's like, I can't believe it. How much has he practiced, or
Or
something to that effect, or
that's
like,
talent.
oh yeah, that's it, yeah. And I was like, no, dude, like, how much time did he put in that? Like 3 years?
He
Yeah,
was
you could say
bleeding.
3 years, right? Like, it doesn't
Like,
matter
do you
the
know how
length of
much you
time;
have
it's
to
how
blow
much
something
time in a
for
day you
your
put
lips to
in.
bleed?
Uh
Like,
huh.
leaving aside that it was cold, and you know
Oh
that
right.
also affects.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Like your lips chafe when it's cold and stuff. Yeah.
But
Mind
still,
blowing. Yeah. Like not like don't even think 4 hours a day. Think more like 8 hours a day. I mean,
probably more.
professionals they do even more. I've heard, but he was in high school at that time. So like, whoa. Well, I said 8, but we don't even know. They don't even say it, but wow.
You're gonna imagine there's a lot. I
It
mean,
is,
you know,
yeah.
we've seen some
It's
crazy
a
training
lot.
arcs in
Right.
in anime that is like, oh yeah, practice before class, during breaks, after
Right.
class, on
On
weekends,
weekends,
when you're
before you go to
sleeping.
bed. Oh,
Like
right.
when you're dreaming, you're still
You're
training.
still training.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. And just do it for fun too.
so yeah, they kind of like start a band
Oh
before
man.
starting. You know, Yukinori and Dai, before they actually start, he starts uh, taking his friend with him to the place where he practices. He's like, hey, just grab his
Oh
can and grab his
yeah. The
stick
soda
and
can.
keep the beat.
Mhm.
And his friend is like, okay. And he always gives it all, like
Oh yes.
all the time.
All the time.
And
Even when he's
his
by
friend is like,
himself.
man, did I just play jazz?
Yeah. And he's like, you did, yeah. Dude.
And he's this unexpected new addition to the band.
Yes, Tamada.
And Yukinori is not on board with it because
Right.
he's like, man, you're like he's a freaking beginner. And
Yeah.
Dai is like,
Like, what do you
I
think
know,
we were trying to do?
but like everyone starts somewhere.
Dude,
Like,
that's when I almost started tearing up. I was like,
man,
dude,
I really
no
I really
fucking
like
way.
Dai's attitude towards the world.
Yeah.
Because like
Uh-huh.
he was always pretty open and pretty supportive,
Yeah.
but at the same time he was strict.
Yes.
And we will talk about the times
Oh,
where
yes,
he's strict.
yeah. Yeah.
But
like,
he
not
he was
only
pretty
himself,
supportive
but
because
yeah,
his
he
friend was like, "Hey, I want to play." He never told his friend.
Yeah.
He never told Tamara like,
Yeah.
"Hey, play with me."
Mm,
Tamara was like, "Hey, can I play with you guys?" Like, I want to start doing this.
that's true.
And he was like, "Man, like
he wants
he's
to play
feeling it. Like,
jazz with
yeah,
them.
like heck, let's do it."
Mhm.
And so
Yeah, that was a cool thing. Very, very cool. And I liked how it was because Tamada wanted to do it. And I thought it was really cool how they did it because he was trying to be a soccer player, but he was a little bit like jaded over in the soccer club because somebody told him like, "Oh, don't take it as seriously as you think you should. Like this is just a club before you're going to classes." Oh man, that like was a
yeah,
little
and
heart
I mean,
wrenching
you
for
know,
me.
when
But yeah,
what you had on the
Tamada,
other side with this guy
right,
playing
died
sax,
playing,
that he
uh-huh,
was like
and he's
putting
pouring it
everything on the
all
line.
in, that's the special thing about Dai. Yeah, as you said, yeah, he does 100% into that. Yukinori is like, yeah, he's not an official member, but he can play with us. And he's like, no, like we need somebody before we actually like form a band and then start performing. Funny Yukinori, he never got that. Dai, Yukinori, and Tamada, they continued to play and practice and practice and play until they decide that they're doing a gig.
Yeah, like
What
they're
for?
decent enough, so they go to a bar
Yeah. Oh, right.
for
Well,
their first
decent
gig.
enough. Poor Tamada.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, in this first gig, they start promoting themselves like idols.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're playing jazz. Please come
Dai
see
is
us.
giving out his hand. Oh yeah.
And you know, when the
Freaked
first
out.
concert,
Oh yes.
you know, it's from there. Their
It
very
is, yeah.
first
That's the
concert,
first one.
their very first gig.
Yep.
There are 4 people only. Out of those 4 people,
3 regulars.
3 regulars and the owner.
And the owner.
So they weren't even there
owner.
to see them.
No, yeah. One of them is an older gentleman too. He's like, he's just there, just for the drinks. but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, and they start being related. You know, they start playing and they're like, man, that jazz boy is really cool. Like,
yeah.
The pianist, man, that guy is also really good. Right. And the drums.
The saxophone player.
He's putting a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, right. That's what they say. Yeah, a lot of effort. And that particular guy also says, oh, he's almost at his limit.
And he was. Because you know there was a point where he was like
just tap,
just freezing, and they're like,
oh yeah, right. And it's in the moment you can't do anything. Like when you freeze up, that's it. I was surprised that he continued, like, even trying after that. Oh my gosh. Being up anywhere, even in front of, like, a small group of people, so nerve-wracking. Surprisingly enough, a college student does come, and he was curious enough after Dai was like, hey, if you bring your 10%, I guarantee we'll give you 110, no, 125%. Yeah. That was amazing. That's the type of guy Dai is. So that college kid, he comes over. He was blown away.
Was it a college or like an office worker?
I thought it was on campus, and that's...
Was it on campus?
Oh, wait, unless he was like... Tokyo is so big. I don't even know if it was campus or not. He may have been just a worker.
How can you remember, Brian? We were in Tokyo like last week.
What? Well, actually, he may have been just like a salary man. He was in, he was suit and tie.
Too well dressed for being a college student.
That's right.
And college I know about that.
Japanese.
We know
That's
about
right.
that.
We know about that. Yeah. All it is, T-shirt, jeans.
But yeah, from there they start practicing. They start becoming more recognizable. They start doing a lot more gigs in some other bars. Mm-hmm. They start getting fans.
Yeah, that's
and they also like along the way they made these. They actually like consolidated themselves as a band. Oh
yeah, as a band, and they got a name.
They got the name Jazz with double S.
S's, yep. jazz instead of jazz. So funny. They
Yeah.
like continue. Of course, they're still having some rough patches. Kind of with like Tamada, he's still making mistakes in the 100s. If you count the big ones along with the little ones. That's the funny part. But I thought this middle part was kind of like, they're getting used to each other. They're, Dai and Yukinori is establishing their friendship. They are becoming great friends. Tamada, I kind of thought this part of him was like him, being validated, wanting to play jazz with them. Because it wasn't really his dream, but it was something he wanted to do. He wanted to play with them. I thought that was cool. But the point was for him, I think here was he got a fan by that old guy.
Oh yeah.
He came up to him when Dai was getting like signatures and the usual.
Oh yeah, and
stuff.
I want to talk about that part as well. So yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to point out, Tamada, he got approached by the guy and he was like, "Hey, oh my gosh, I should have taken a screenshot."
Like, yeah, you've improved a lot.
Yeah, that's what he said. I recognize you're doing better. You're improving.
It's like you're working really hard, and he's almost moved to tears. It's like, man,
dude, that was.
He's like,
awesome.
That's what he needed.
Exactly. Yeah. So cool. I loved that part.
Because it was a little before these three guys, these three friends, Jazz.
Oh yes.
They're like go to kind of like the ultimate bar for jazz players that is called So Blue. Yeah. They're like, hey, this is like the Tokyo Arena for jazz players.
Yeah.
He's like, the admission, in some of the other bars that we go is like 2,000 yens. Here is 10,000 yen. The admission.
Yeah.
And like, that's already is like a. I don't know. I'm like, I'm probably maybe like.
Admission fee.
Yeah, I'm not paying money to go into a freaking restaurant to then pay more money.
Right. Like, yeah, I actually am not. I'm not even familiar with any over here that's kind of like that. So yeah, fascinating.
I've gone to I think one or two in Mexico, and it was with an uncle that he was really well off. So he invited us, but I was like, man, like I would never pay. Like,
no, like I would never think of doing that. Yeah,
but
amazing.
That's not the point. It's like complaints from poor people.
No.
And so Yukinori, he is being tirelessly trying to get in contact with someone from So Blue, and in this concert, actually, someone from So Blue goes and sees them. And after we have the interaction from Dai writing autographs and
yes.
And Tamada also, being validated. Yukinori goes to another bar and sees these representative from the bar, from the So Blue. And he's like, hey, what do you think? He's like, you're sax player. He first mentions Tamara and he's like, your drummer. Did. It seems that he's a beginner.
He did say that first.
But man, he gives it all. And he's like, like he's been improving. Like, your sax player. He's an interesting guy. Man, like, he's awesome.
Yeah, he said interesting.
You suck. Yeah. And he's like,
dude.
Come again?
Yeah,
he's like, you suck. You're like, who do you think we are? Like, our bar, like, has standards, and like you're just doing some fancy finger tricks, and everything's already like organized and categorized for you. Like, you suck. You're not made for this genre. And it's like, man.
Yeah. And then he rips into his character after that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he tells him like, you suck because you didn't like
you're a coward.
You're a coward. Yeah. You didn't even you didn't even greet me or something like that. And you didn't even say thank you
or hello to the
or yeah,
bartender or
that's what it
something
was.
like that.
Yeah. When taking the drink, or ordering the drink, something like that. And yeah, he says like, no, you're not a fit.
Yeah, man, like
Dude,
he destroyed him. I was like,
yeah,
man, someone
yeah.
please bring the firefighters because this dude was burned.
He's oh my gosh. Yeah.
Now, like kind of like adding insult to injury.
It really was. Yeah.
He goes to
added
his
that.
friends and he's like, hey, I actually talked with this guy.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, so how'd it go? Well, he thinks both of you are great, but he thinks that I suck and that I'm a coward. And you know,
right.
Die, that he's normally is like, hey dude, I'm here for you.
Right. Die, like, the mostly like
yeah, we need a new side from him that you know it actually doesn't deviate from his actual persona. Because he's
true,
like,
true.
So
personality.
And what do you think? Like, do you think you're a coward? Like, do you have like something to actually, you know, argue against that claim?
Yeah.
It like he said that my solo sucks. It's like, well, like, do your solo sucks? Because I think there was a point where Dai actually told Yukimori that his solos were always the same or something like that, right?
He did mention that, yeah. Just like he did mention that beforehand. Yes, he did say that.
And he's just like, you're a coward. And
yeah.
And Tamara is like, die, like, what's this, dude? Like, you're supposed to be like comforting him. And like, I'm not gonna support mediocrity. Right. Kind of like that. That's what he said.
Yeah, basically, and he said, yeah, if he takes that, then there's nothing I can do about that. And yeah, incredible part. They almost lose it here, and I think also for Yukinori, and they were talking about him sucking in not as certain terms as that. They did say the S word, the swear word.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, so basically, Tamada, he goes off the rails on Dai. Dai goes off the rails on Yukinori, and Yukinori can't stand up for himself at all. Yeah, and they kind of go their separate ways for the moment.
Yeah, for a while. I mean, he has, you know, now Yukinori has kind of like his training arc. He's invited actually to be the guest.
Yeah,
for some other sax player. And he's like, no, I need to, you know, to break from my shell, like stand out and man, he loses it. He was just like die.
Yeah.
In the piano, and he's like, you know, all the color palette that he normally had completely changes.
Yes.
Because I mean, we mentioned this off camera, but like you did mention that his colors were kind of like purple, like really warm, really subtle. And now in these ones, they were like more colorful, more like kind of like energetic in a way. And Dai was like,
and it varied too.
Yeah, and Dai was like, that's it. That's our Yukimori. Like,
yeah, and he couldn't take his eyes off of him on that particular night. Yeah,
and you know, like again, like they got kind of like their dream came true, and they got another shot. Yeah, So Blue, and they're like, man, like you're gonna perform there in 3 days.
Yeah, so they came together with Yukinori going over there for the first time, which was great. They got back together, but yeah, this is their big shot. This is it. This is Yukinori's dream coming true.
And oh boy,
reality hits. No, freaking Truck-kun. I said it before starting today. Freaking Dude, he should stay in the isekai. Like,
Man,
don't even. Oh man,
everything was going so great. I was so happy for them. You know, I was engaged already. Like the audience is engaged. You're like, man, this is great. Like they're having their happy moment. It seems like the hard patches have passed, which was, you know, Yukimori, that he was a coward, and Tamada, that he was not good at drums. It was like, that was the hard, but then it's like it wasn't.
Right. And it was specifically at a part when Yukinori was reflecting that they got there, that they were all doing well. I want to say that he was even feeling like he was acknowledging that he was grateful to his band members. So like we're seeing the character development, right? He's changing. He's not.
Man,
do we really have to say what happens? No. Okay, I just got to say one thing. Piano players, their fingers are their life.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna put the clip for that moment.
It's a must-see part.
Because it's like
when I saw it, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, man, I was watching it. You know, I was engaged, and then like you know, next thing you see it, and you're like,
right. You're like, what? Like, that's when you throw the phone, break it in half, and just push it down the toilet.
he ends up in the hospital.
Yep.
With a lot of damage to his right arm. And right hand, because you know it was not only this; it was like the fingers as well.
Oh my god!
And you know, 3 days.
It was 3 days away. Yeah. They get notified. Dai and Tamada, they rush over. You know, it's chaos. Well, in the sense that they don't know what's gonna happen. They're like devastated, but Dai decides that Tamada, you and I, we're still gonna perform. This is so blue. We're gonna do it. And like skipping over to it, they go to So Blue. Well, of course, a lot of things happen too. Like his family comes. A lot of people come. A lot of people notified.
Oh yeah, his family, like his brother did come, and that jazz player that.
Oh.
Yeah, the jazz player that he was at the beginning, and he was also like, you know, a lot of people were being interviewed. So at the same time, it was kind of like
we haven't mentioned that either.
Documental. Yeah. I don't think we have.
Yeah, we haven't. So like we see clips a little bit into the future. I'm not sure how far, but we see these recordings. We even see like the recording button to the recording light to the side, and it's like the frame, and everyone's like talking about their experience of
meeting Dai,
and it's like, oh wow, greatest jazz player and whatnot, to that effect. Which is pretty cool. We get to see these little snippets.
A lot of people were there, and you know, the host was like, hey, like jazz, it's not gonna be here, or at least not the three of them, because one of them got into an accident and he was in critical condition,
and everybody
man, the part that broke me a lot was the lady from the owner from Take Two. She was like, man, it's like I just saw them, and like, how did this happen? I had no idea, and I was like, man, like, dude, this lady that, like, why didn't they tell her? Well, I kind of understand why they didn't tell her, but
sure.
But you know, they have their show. They're giving their all, and you know, animation again. It's great. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's not quite there.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you
the
know,
shot.
you know, the shots are amazing. As the animation is,
Oh yeah.
it's as good as the other times where they
Oh,
were
yes.
performing.
Yeah, you see like the sparkles.
And I think we did skip that time where they go to the jazz festival.
Oh, we did, yeah. Yeah, that's true, yeah, the jazz festival. Yeah.
But anyways,
Okay, yeah.
just watch the movie.
You gotta see, yeah.
That's where we have these like
It's
we
we're
just give
limited.
highlights
Yeah.
of good things, but we don't give all the highlights.
That's
So
right. And just the visuals are just phenomenal in the anime itself, which is hard to give justice to just talking about.
so yeah, they
Yeah.
finish their performance and he like
and
on
they
the
both give the
drums.
solos. Yeah, Tamada.
Oh yeah, their solos were really good.
Yeah,
as
they were
well.
really cool. Tamada had an amazing drum solo. I think it was the only drum solo that we saw of his.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. He's like giving it his all, you know. He was commanding the stage and everybody was drawn into it. Amazing performance. But yeah, as mentioned, like the scene, there's something missing because it should be 3, right? The center saxophone player to stage left, our right, is Tamada on the drums, and then the other side
there's
an empty piano. Yeah, no player. It's just empty. Yeah,
and you know,
and
at the end of the
it looks
performance, they're like,
off.
"Hey,
It's
the drums,
complete.
Tamara, the tenor sax, me, Dai, and the one who composed all of our songs and our only pianist,
yeah,
Yukimori, and everyone's like, man,
and everybody goes wild.
And, you know,
the crowd,
like it's time for them to leave the stage. Yeah, and as soon as they leave the stage, they see Yukimori with his mom.
With his mom, yeah.
And he's limping. He's all beat up.
Dude, like, oh my gosh.
Man,
like, end the anime right here.
I started crying in that part.
Rest. Yeah. Oh my
I started crying like you have no idea because like, man,
really,
like,
oh man.
Like you shouldn't, like you guys shouldn't have done that. It was like, dude, I appreciate it, but man.
Yeah, I mean, oh yeah.
Because he's like, hey, like, Jazz didn't play there. Jazz is the 3 of us. Yeah. It's like, but your hand is like, the left one is good.
Still play. Yeah, left hand.
And man, and you know, like, when it's the encore.
Oh yes.
They're like, yeah, I'm gonna play with you guys on the encore. And it's like, are you sure? You're like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
And you know that they're coming back. Tamara makes his way first, and Dai is carrying.
Oh yeah.
Yukimori and everyone is like
supporting Yukinori. Yeah. But I wanted to mention that he said when they were meeting in the hallway there, he said, oh yeah, well this is gonna be the last time, because you know we're disbanding, and he's like, yeah, it's because well anyway, and then
yeah, because he was dying.
They cried. Tamada,
you know, it was just another step.
Yeah, it was another step, and that was really cool that he said that we're disbanding because he's gonna be the greatest player in the world. that was really dude.
Because you know, like
was crying.
For Yukimori, like his dream, it was the So Blue, so he was good.
Oh yeah.
And
like
and for Tamara, like he didn't really have a dream. He was just like, hey, I said I was gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it. And I told my mom that I was gonna take a break from school to do this, and after I was done with this, I was gonna give it my all in school.
It's cool, yeah.
So it's like, but man, it also kind of broke me a little bit how Tamara started sobbing and crying. And like, man,
because he, you know, really felt that. Oh my gosh, yeah. So
but yeah, they got to the encore, and like all the audience is like, man, like
he's here,
like
he's here,
so beat up,
and the lady from Take Two, dude, I saw her crying. I was like, dude, like, oh man, yeah.
And
they play,
they start having their encore, and man, like this is the part where I feel like that stuff that they were missing. He's
Ooh,
like,
yeah.
man, we even saw like a freaking black hole.
Oh, yes,
Like taking over
yeah.
the stage.
It's to the
like,
point of it being psychedelic. Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. And the colors and the the sparkles, like this so the thing when Dai plays with the saxophone is that when he plays, the saxophone sparkles and it gives off light and he plays so big that everybody is like affected by it. Uh, um, but it's just that he's so commanding in his presence that this light and music like becomes so big. Yeah. Oh, so cool, so cool. Yeah, black hole. I'm like thinking to myself, freak, this is a psychedelic anime
yeah,
now.
you're like, man.
Like, did they?
I mean,
oh yeah, and it's just music.
I mean, this
it's
is
just
the great
jazz.
thing about anime, music animes, that they actually give this physical representation of something that for most people is really hard to feel.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
people who don't get music.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. Or like who don't get jazz, I guess you could say. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I was talking more like music in general because
Okay,
a
in
lot
general.
of other
Gotcha.
animes, like this one episode that we had about Konoto Tomare, the Koto one.
Oh yes.
How they also represented like
Oh
the
yes.
sakura flowers blooming or like a dragon.
Oh
and
yeah. When they were playing and
Yeah.
and they were like reaching the sky. Yeah.
So yeah, kind of like music anime in general. How I like the fact that they're trying to describe or trying to make the audience visualize what they would normally wouldn't get. Because it's like, man, it's like jazz is like I don't get it. It's like, what's the appeal to it? And then you see it in the animation and all of these colors or shots or angles, and you're like, man, this is so rough and intense.
Yeah.
But man, it was a great anime. Like right after that, they just talk about the Blue Giant.
Oh yes, yeah, and how they were talking. Oh, at that time there was that particular player that uh, kind of like shone, but kind of like was so hot that we called him. We took to calling him the Blue Giant.
Yeah. And then roll credits, and we have an after end credits scene.
Dude.
That it's Dai having a call with I forgot his name. I was so good. I was doing so good.
You were.
Having a call with Yukimori.
Yeah.
And
So,
he's like,
yeah,
hey,
on the
like,
phone.
get well soon, cause I'm your number one fan.
I'm in love with your piano.
Yeah, and Yukimori, that validation.
Yeah.
But like, man, it's like, I know, like, just go and do your thing, and he was making his way to Germany. Because again, I'm kind of like ignorant in the jazz world, but
same.
But I would guess that a better place to go after Asia would be either Europe or America.
Sure, yeah. Europe or exactly. Yeah. And and we see also Yukinori, he was working on a piece called, or he was working on a piece, and we also see another piece called Blue Giant. So yeah, or maybe it was the same piece. Yeah, that's right. And that's the end, like him going off to Germany. Really, really nice. I really loved the story. It was very clear cut. It had simple plot developments, but it really hits deep on, of course, like people playing jazz, how jazz like comes together and what it all means. There was one other thing. Oh, what was it? Oh, with Blue Giant. Uh, as we mentioned at the beginning, how wrong I was with what it meant. Blue Giant, meaning the star or a type of star. I tried looking up that particular aspect of like blue giants. Apparently, they're just like a broad spectrum of types of stars, but they're normally just super, you know, obviously big, but you know they just burn really really bright, and 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 yeah, of course, yeah, blue giant. So it's just like a star type. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh
Yeah.
man, but yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Really good movie. I really liked it. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like when I saw it for the first time, I was like, man,
Yes.
like I'm so glad. I was kind of mistaken.
Oh yeah.
Because normally I'm like, this is anime. It's gonna be about this.
Oh yeah.
And you watch it and it's like, yeah, it was about that. So,
right, but it's
so I'm glad I was mistaken for this one.
Oh yes, yeah.
But yeah, thanks
This
for
one
watching.
stays.
I hope you liked it.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, go watch it. I don't know if it might be on Crunchyroll. Is it on
Ooh,
Crunchyroll?
I didn't check.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm pretty sure that it will be on DVD sometimes, or
Oh yes.
or maybe even YouTube. I've seen that YouTube sometimes has some anime movies.
Yeah, they carry some. That's right. Yeah, definitely worth to find it and give it a watch.
But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week with another anime.
Yep.
Matane.